Let's start maybe with like a little bit of just market structure in general. The last 2 years has been pretty incredible for Bitcoin. Obviously, start of 2020 was kind of around $10,000, ran all the way up to 69,000 back in November. What's your general read on like maybe why some of that occurred and how much of it is like Bitcoin or crypto market stuff versus just, the Fed stepped in and was going to pump asset prices and Bitcoin's volatile, so it went up?
Yeah, if I was going to boil it down to one thing, I guess it would be like two sort of market adages. One is don't fight the Fed, and the other one is it's all one trade.
Okay.
And don't fight the Fed's been around for at least a decade, and it's all one trade's been around for the last 2 years. And basically what both of those kind of speak to is the same backdrop, which is central bank actions in the current monetary regime have such an overwhelmingly powerful impact on all asset prices that basically everything else is almost just an afterthought. And that was the backdrop for the run up after the COVID crash. And that's now, the backdrop heading the other direction as the Fed is trying to tighten monetary policy.
Yeah, I tend to agree that is a huge driver, if not the only thing really to pay attention to right here. What I want to do today is talk about Bitcoin, but I want to use it as kind of a discussion point for more of like the macro environment and a lot of the stuff that's going on there. If you subscribe to this idea of it is all one trade. Bitcoin to me seems like it's the most pure macro asset maybe, but it's still part of this kind of larger legacy financial market. And so you sent out a recent update, and we've pulled a couple of the charts out of there that I thought just were home runs, frankly. And the first one, and I thought it was very telling that this was like the first thing that you led with, was the price of Bitcoin, and you overlaid a tweet on top of it. And the tweet says, the former New York Fed Governor Dudley, if stocks don't fall, the Fed needs to force them. And it was citing a CNBC interview. And that was back in kind of early April, which obviously was part of this like price relief rally after Bitcoin had dropped 50%. And so talk to me a little bit about this like mentality coming from the Fed, whether active officials or former officials, of like, they seem to think that they are in control and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, so I think there's two things I'd speak to about that chart. The first one is just how tightly NASDAQ and Bitcoin are trading with each other. And you can just see that they're overlaid on top of one another, and they look like exactly the same. And then the second thing that I added was that tweet, which was basically a former Fed governor writing a Bloomberg op-ed article that was entitled like what it says in that tweet: if stocks don't fall, the Fed should force them to fall, which is a pretty crazy thing for these boomers to be running around saying. But they are dead set on fighting inflation. They're terrified of inflation. Inflation is, the hot button political item. The Fed has become deeply politicized. The notion of an independent Federal Reserve, I think, is a joke at this point. And so the Fed has a few different mechanisms that they think through trying to sort of tame inflation with, but one of them is through this mechanism called financial conditions. And there's an index you can type into TradingView or Bloomberg, the Financial Conditions Index, which is a combination of a few different things. But two of the inputs into financial conditions are equity prices and debt prices. Fixed income prices. And so one way to tighten financial conditions is to make the price of stocks fall, make the price of bonds fall. And by doing so, the Fed has this view that through sort of wealth effect, people's net worth is going down because they're long stocks, they're long bonds, the prices of those are going down, their net worth is going down. As their net worth is going down, it makes them buy less things, spend less money, and then that has an effect of taming inflation over time. And so that was really what Dudley was speaking to, and other Fed officials as well too. And so it gets you into this pretty, kind of creepy spot of, the Fed feeling like the best way for them to try and get inflation under control is to just hit everybody's net worth. And they can do that with, maximum jawboning. And then how much of that jawboning, so jawboning is just this term of like, talking a big game about something, and then how much of that talk actually translates into action then sort of remains to be seen, and is what's going to be front and center over the coming months.
Hey you, did you like this video? Great, we make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and see you next time.